All right, everybody, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive.
Let's do it.
Today we are talking McDonald's reward points, specifically in British Columbia. We're looking at some December 2024 data
Okay.
and trying to figure out how you can get the most bang for your McBuck.
Sounds delicious.
So essentially, we have a document here that breaks down all the redemption options,
Yep.
what you can get with your points, and the actual value.
Right.
And
Good point.
one of the most interesting things that we found right off the bat
Yeah.
is that aiming for the most expensive item is not always the best move.
You would think it is, right?
It's a thing.
Like, oh, I want that Big Mac. I'm going to save all my points for that.
Exactly.
But it doesn't quite work like that sometimes.
So how do we figure out the actual value of a McDonald's point?
Well, it's actually pretty straightforward.
Okay.
You just take the cost of the item
Okay.
that you want,
Yeah.
divide it by the number of points that it costs.
Yeah.
And then that gives you the value of each point.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
let's say a coffee is $2 and it takes 1,000 points to redeem. Each point is then worth 0.2 cents.
Gotcha. So higher cents per point, the better the deal.
Yeah,
Glad to
okay.
have.
And that's where it gets interesting.
Awesome. Let's get into the specifics.
Okay, so let's start with the 2,000 point tier.
All right.
The large iced coffee,
Okay.
kind of the winner here,
Wow.
0.1595 cents per point.
That's pretty good for a coffee.
Yeah.
What do you think is driving that?
I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But I think McDonald's probably has a pretty good profit margin on coffee.
Okay.
They want to encourage people to buy drinks, maybe.
That makes sense.
So that's a pretty good deal. Now, if you compare that to something like an apple pie,
Oh, yeah.
which is also in that 2,000 point tier, that only comes in at 0.0745.
Wow. So there's a big difference
Big difference.
between those two items
Huge difference.
at the same point level.
Yeah.
So let's move up a tier now
Right.
to the 6,000 point tier.
All right, so this is where it gets a little more interesting.
Okay.
We're looking at things like the junior chicken, which actually performs pretty well here.
Okay.
You're looking at 0.0548 cents per point.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
It's a pretty big item, too.
Yeah.
It's a decent amount of food.
What about like a full McMuffin meal, though?
Right.
Wouldn't that be a better value?
That's where you really have to think about it.
Yeah.
Because at the 10,000 point level,
Right.
you can get the Egg McMuffin meal,
Okay.
which seems like a really good deal.
It does.
But the cents per point value is
Yeah.
actually pretty similar to what you would get with a Happy Meal or...
Oh, interesting. So maybe it's actually better to get like a junior chicken and a coffee
Yeah,
than saving up for the Egg McMuffin meal.
exactly. It's about
mean,
knowing your priorities.
Who knew ordering at McDonald's was so strategic?
Haha, right.
This is like a whole
You got to do your research.
strategy session before you even get there.
Exactly.
So the big takeaway for everybody listening is
Yeah,
don't let those McDonald's points go to waste.
they're valuable.
Do a little math before you order,
A little calculation can go a long way.
and you might be surprised what you find out.
Yeah, you could be getting so much more for your points.
Exactly.
It's worth it.
All right, thanks for joining us for another deep dive,
See you next time.
and we will see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.